Hi students, today we are going to discuss the important topic of leasing. What is meant by leasing? What are the various terms used in leasing agreement? How it is used in the business? What are the different kinds of leasing? So let me explain the important two terms used in the leasing agreement. So one is the lessor, another is the lessee. These two terms you come across again and again in case of leasing. So who is called as a lessor? The lessor is the legal owner of the asset or property. Lessee. The lessee is the party who gets the right to use the property for a particular period of time, and he makes periodic payment to the lessor on the basis of the initial agreement. So what is meant by leasing? Lease or leasing or lease. So lease is defined as a contract between lessor and lessee for a hire of a specific asset for a specific period on payment of specified rental. Simple thing, the owner of the house is called as a lessor. The person who occupies the house, that is the tenant, is called as a lessee. So now, what are the various terms which are commonly used in a lease agreement? So first one is the duration. Duration is nothing but how long the lease agreement is going to be in effect. Rent. The amount of rent that will be paid to the owner by the tenant. And if he fails to make a payment, what is the condition applied? Third is the deposit. The amount of any deposit required and the purpose of each deposit and the condition for return at the end of the lease. That is also specified. Then occupancy. The maximum number of occupants are permitted in the building. So in case of car, how many persons are allowed to drive the car? So that is called as a occupancy. Terms of use. The purpose for which the property is to be used. Suppose it is for asked for a commercial purpose, then it will be used for commercial. Suppose for any other purpose it is used, that purpose only we should use it. Apart from purpose specified in the lease agreement cannot be used. Next, utilities. Which utilities are included in the rent and which utilities the tenant is responsible. That must be clearly specified in the lease agreement. Then insurance. Who has to make a payment of insurance? Who has to maintain who is responsible for maintaining the insurance and who has to bear the repairs and maintenance, whether lessor and lessee. That is also to be specified in the lease agreement. So the amount of insurance to be paid differ from lessor to lessee on the basis of the kind of agreement they are having. In some cases, the lessor will make the payment. In some other cases, the lessee will make payment. So that depends upon the kinds of lease they are going to follow. So these are the different kinds of lease are followed. So let me explain one by one. First one, financial lease. So in case of financial lease, it is a contract involving payment over a longer period of time. So in this case, lessee will be paying much more than the cost of the property or equipment to the lessor in form of lease charges. That is, so more than the cost of asset, he will be collecting the payment in form of rent or lease charges. So in this type of leasing, the lessee has to bear all the cost and the lessor does not render any services. So full expenses will be borne by the lessee. Next, operating lease. In this case, what will happen? The lessee uses the asset for a particular or specific period. The lessor bears the risk of obsolescence, including the incidental cost and maintenance cost, everything. There is no option. There is an option to either party to terminate the lease after giving a prior notice. This kind of lease is mostly preferred where equipment is subject to obsolescence. Obsolescence means it is outdated. Leverage lease. A lease arrangement under which lessor borrows a larger proportion of funds needed to purchase the asset, because in this case lessor cannot bear the full expenses for purchasing the asset. So he will seek the third party support for sharing the cost. So in that case, what he will do, he will after making the payment, he will after making the payment, he will return the lease amount. So from whomever he is getting that amount. So the value of the asset leased may be of huge amount, which may not be possible for the lessor to finance. So only in that case, he will seek the support of the third party. But finally, he is responsible to make a payment to the third party. Conveyance type lease. This is commonly followed in most of the cases. Conveyance is the act of transferring an ownership of interest in a property from one party to another party. So full ownership, that is the title, will be transferred. Conveyance also refers to a written document or instrument that transfers the legal title of a property from the seller to the buyer. In conveyance type lease, the lease will be for a long period with the clear intention of conveying the ownership of the title on the lease. Sale and lease back. This is simple thing. What is it? He will sell it, then again he will get back the lease. That is the case of sale and lease back. So here asset is sold by the owner, that is the lessor, and the buyer leases it back to the ex-owner of the property. Ex-owner of the property or asset, that is the lessee, he will lease it back to the ex-owner of the property. So this is mostly done when a lessor buys an asset from the company and leases it back to the after instant payment of the cost. Here the ownership of the asset is actually transferred to the buyer or lessor, while the asset remains with the company, which becomes the lessee. So this type of lease arrangement is done when a company has to bear the finance for running a business but with the same asset. Full and non-payout lease. Full payout lease, a lease where the seller or lessor recovers the full value of the asset by leasing it is called as a full payout lease. Non-payout lease. When the seller leases the same asset again and again, the lease will be called as a non-payout lease. So in case of full payout lease, he is able to recover the full value of the asset by leasing it to the same person. Specialized service lease. In this case, what the lessor will do, apart from providing the asset, he will deliver some expertise services also to the lessee. So it will be specified in the agreement. Net and non-net lease. In case of net lease, what he will do, the lessor pays some or all taxes, including all maintenance, insurance, everything he will pay, along with the paying rent is called as a net lease. So non-net lease, a lease where the lessor is not responsible for pay any of the expenses, is called as a non-lease. Cross-border lease. In this case, lessor and lessee will belong to the different countries. They will make an agreement for the property. This is called as a cross-border lease. Tax-oriented lease. What will happen here? The lessor claims all the tax benefit and of ownership, and later he will transfer that benefit to the lessee by decreasing the rentals. Next, import lease. Import lease, what will happen? The property leased in this case will be imported from other country. So, but the lessor and lessee will be belong to the same country. International lease, it is similar to the cross-border lease. The parties are belong to the different countries. Thank you. I hope you have understood the meaning of lease. Lessor, lessee, what are the different terms used in the lease agreement, and what are the types of lease, where it is used, how it is used. I hope you would have enjoyed this session. Thank you.